And for those of you that don't know, I don't know how many will still remember this, but I remember when VT last played in the title game that he had posted a very interesting video on League Daddy with this group. And I must admit, at the time, it was pretty hilarious. I know, I'm pretty sure he just did it because of the helmet. But, yeah. Been waiting to use this song for a while. And it's the best. I guess this is a song that Virginia Tech played after they won the championship. Nice little party song. But anyway, start of another season here in the NDL, season 25. Everything getting underway. So figured that we will take a look at a couple of things here. First of all, congratulations. You can see here in the background, got VT and Auburn. That would be the last title game that we had. So, God, it's too early in the morning for this. But anyway, let's look at the cup. That's what we're going to get started with here. You can see round one opened earlier and see some of the scores there. Bama beating John and Air Force. Auburn beating BC. So two ranked teams, which I'll get to shortly, getting off to a good start. You've got Baylor winning against Ball State. New coach. Congrats on your first win, even though it's a cup win. Indiana beating NC State. Wisconsin, another ranked team, pulling out a win. Michigan 7-0 over See It. I'm not sure if that's 7-0 or like part of a game that didn't get finished. I don't know. But anyway, that's what it is right now. Virginia Tech shutout win. Notre Dame win over Nebraska. Stanford, another ranked team with a win. TCU beat me. Arkansas losing to Tennessee, and I know Wasted was laughing at the thought of him actually having a potent offense, but didn't seem so bad in that game, getting the W. So looking at games that still need to get played. No, not saying that there's any rush, but things just started. So just kind of looking at the slate, what's left. Got some good ones here. Let's see, Pitt, Bowling Green, that'd be a good one. Rutgers and Buffalo. I know Buffalo is a lower rated team, but Hollywood's a good coach, so that'll be good. Buckeye playing Knoll, the Cup, Ohio State, and CU. You've got, what else do we have here? Oklahoma, Arizona State, Southern Methodist and Troy, Florida State, Central Florida, in-state battle. Tulsa and BYU, like that one. Penguin and Ice, that should be a pretty good one. Seeing how Houston's going to fare. Road game against Florida, so see how they match up with the speed. That in-season matchup between ULL and North Texas, and Clemson and UTEP champ and Lytez doing battle. Should be a good game. And hopefully no one missed the poll. Yeah, I'm sure some did. It slips your mind. But let's take a look at the polls here. Coaches and media start the season. And looking at just the top 10, you can see Bama and VT following at number 2. So I know some people commented that it's a surprise that VT sits at number 2, but all you have to do is be in one of the spots to be in the title game. So Bama getting early season love like he always does. Got a good squad, good coach, and we'll see if he can hold on towards the end of the season. You got LSU and Oregon flip-flop in both polls, so Shell being back at the head of LSU. As someone posts, I think it's 46-2 his last 4 seasons with LSU, and I got to be a victim of one of those losses, and yeah, pretty damn good. So going down, you've got a mixture. You've got kind of 4 teams flopped around: TCU, Notre Dame, Florida State, and Wisconsin, USC and Oklahoma kind of rounding out the bottom area of the 10, Michigan in there as well. Surprise, Auburn. I can't remember where I had him. I think I had him at 6 or 7, which I feel kind of bad for now, especially seeing him getting rated so low after being the runner-up last season. But the first poll is always the hardest. So many different things you could factor in. Looking further, UConn sitting in the bottom half of the top 25. You got South Carolina, damn USC. Boise sitting at 23, Mizzou, and then Penn State. Probably won't get any votes ever in real life for the next couple of years, but Johnny rounding out the media, and then you can look and see who sat at the bottom looking in, and the coaches, I believe Mizzou was sitting at 26. Don't quote me on that. So, kind of looking at the conferences to see what we have here. I'm not going to make any predictions per se, but just taking a look at what we have coach-wise. So, ACC still will be tough. You got Chusker taking over Florida State. Still a very good team. Very formidable. You got Lytez, who stayed at Clemson. If I remember correctly, it was the only team to beat Virginia Tech. Beat him in the regular season and gave him a run for his money in the conference championship game. And then you've got Homie still sitting. That's just in the Atlantic Division. And we got some other coaches there. But those are the 3 mainstays and the ones that you're definitely going to end up looking out for. On the coastal side, you've got Virginia Tech, obviously, Oracle staying, and then my wild card to me will be Miami. They fell lower than most thought. They're not as good on this game as most would like to, as they've been in the past, but can never count them out. And then moving to the Big 12. So I will not mention Baylor. My apologies. I feel really bad for the last video now. I'm sorry, Trendon. We'll see you next season. But looking at the Big 12, you've got Brett staying at Kansas State, Block getting a very good pick for value with Oklahoma, and then you've got Super Jake at Okie State, VVV staying at Texas, and then, of course, the big one, Mike at TCU. But something else to look out for, you've got West Virginia moving in. So you got Talented, and we'll see how he fares in a different conference. Mainstay out the Big East. And looking at the Big East, a little bit different this season. You got Rain at Cincinnati. Razor staying at Louisville. And yes, Razor, I will mention them this season. I won't hold a grudge. UConn, of course, with Dave. Dak with Rutgers. AJ returning with South Florida. And Sutton at Cuse trying to get his team back. Looking at the Big Ten, you've got the Legends Division. One matchup I really, really look forward to. It would be a rival game anyway, but it would be a big matchup, Michigan and Michigan State, Plasma and Weasel. Very, 2 seasons ago they played in the championship game, 2 or 3? Might have been 3, 'cause I think it was the first season on last year's game. So that'll be a big matchup. And then, of course, Nebraska with UF, and you've got wild cards in Iowa and Northwestern. So you got to keep an eye on those guys. And then leaders, Wisconsin, DK had a good season last year, but kind of fell apart down the stretch. So we'll see if he can bounce back. And then Johnny and Buckeye, Ohio State and Penn State, they'll get flack in real life, but still a good team on the game. Good coach, and it would be interesting to see how they fare against Whiskey this year. So Conference USA, my conference. I like the coaches that we have. You got my division, the East, myself, T-Fan, Feisty, good stuff. Then you've got Beefy and Beer Cop. So Beefy alone will make this conference very interesting. Then on the West, you've got Houston with Randog, and you've got Tulsa with Pingy. Got to keep an eye out on Champ too. UTEP may not get any love, but Champ's a very good coach. Had a good run with South Carolina the last couple of seasons. And Nick and you all floating around, waiting to catch people slipping up. Independence, I mean, they are what they are. ICE will do well. I'm sure they all will do well, but Notre Dame will be the one to keep an eye on. It's got a team title contending team. So we'll see how WJ does this season. Looking at the MAC, hell, it's a crapshoot. I'm not going to lie. I don't even know what the ratings of the teams are. I feel really bad. I'll try to actually look up more on you guys later on in the season because I really don't know anything that you have. So my apologies. But I do like the coaches. If I had to say anything, I'd say I would roll with See It because he has his alum. And just from looking in the West, I would say probably Northern Illinois because that was a team at the top of my board. So that's all I got. I'll actually do some research and see what I can say about you guys. In the Mountain West, it's a very interesting conference to me. You've got Outlaw with his team at Boise, so he's going to do well just based on the fact that he knows his team. Yes, they've dropped off some, but he should still do fine. Steamroller at SDSU. They don't have Hillman, but they have a very capable back. They have Lockett at receiver, and I believe he is an impact. They still have a good, formidable team. So the way that he plays, his style of offense, I think he'll fit in just fine. I'd keep an eye on Dealer. I know he's got a lower rated team there in Nevada, and I'd definitely keep an eye on Air Force. If John can get the run game going, he's going to be hell for anybody to play in that conference. Moving along to the Pac, you've got in the North, of course, Oregon, and 6 feet, dangerous. Washington, George returning. That'll be a dangerous team as well. The wild card to me in this division will be Stanford because they have a ridiculous offensive line and they have someone that's going to be trying to get the most out of it. So if he can get the run game going, the Pac is going to be in a lot of trouble. The South, of course, you've got USC. Workman's got them. They've got so many weapons on offense. UCLA Mac with his team will be a formidable opponent. The Arizona Twins, and then Noel will be the wild card with CU. And then can't forget Utah. I still don't know how they got an A-rated team, but C-Dub and Utah could be one of those dangerous teams to watch down the stretch. SEC, looking at the East, you've got Florida and Georgia. As a matter of fact, just looking at the SEC in general, they have 7 of their 14 teams ranked. That's not even including Tennessee, which rightfully could be ranked. It's crazy. The conference is just so loaded. Florida, Georgia, Mizzou moving in, they could be ranked. They're ranked in the media poll. And you've got South Carolina and Tennessee. I feel so sorry for Vanderbilt because Vanderbilt and Kentucky is just not even fair with those teams. The West, of course, you've got Bama. You've got the defending division champ or conference champ, my bad, in Victim at Auburn. You've got Shell coming back with LSU. And then Steel City taking over Arkansas. Swell, Texas A&M. Really disturbing. Just ridiculous conference. And then you have, the Sun Belt. The Sun Belt has... Well, what do they have? Let me think. If I remember correctly, Arkansas State, I think, is the highest rated team in the conference, followed by Florida International. So Stempen, and you've got the ridiculous running back. FIU actually is good for once. And then the wild card team to watch out for will be ULL. When I was doing my draft list, they have a lot of weapons on offense. They actually are pretty fast, and they have a very accurate quarterback. So Crimson could be a wild card down the stretch. And then the WAC. Paxi at Louisiana Tech. Quack at Utah State. And then I feel like just a bunch of random teams. You got 2 new teams, Texas State, UTSA, Idaho. I'm not going to lie, the WAC just has a bunch of low-rated teams. So, but they're low-rated. I think Louisiana Tech is the best of the bunch, and the rest are pretty close, so it should be pretty interesting. If he can't get going, then things should be looking good for Paxi. So that pretty much sums up looking at the conference. While I have this playing in the background still. Couple of things to point out here. One, everyone make sure that you have your contract signed. Pretty sure if you've been in the conference section of your conference in the message board or on the message board, your conference commissioner probably has introduced himself by now, probably have some stuff going on. I know in our conference, Bama fans already put up a preseason poll, and yeah, Nick's doing some trash talking. Fun times. So yeah, take a look at that. I don't really know what else to say, but I still have too many minutes left on this thing, so I couldn't edit it down. What can I say in a couple of minutes here? Let's see. I'm pretty sure. Let's see. I'm pretty sure that Untouchable is going to do his report. So let me look and see if. Let me pull up the schedule and see if we have any in-conference games that aren't like ranked games. See if I can pull up some other matchups that aren't as big as the big ones as the season gets going. What do we have? Let's look at the mid-majors. What do we have? I just hate that matchup. Rocky Mountain Showdown. Two really long-time vets. Noel and Rye. CU and CSU. Week 1. What else do we have? I think Pitt and Mizzou will be a pretty good game. Crows feels like he's been there forever now. And Nittler and Pitt, I think, will be a good fit. Of course, Dave and Homie playing again, as is tradition for them week 1. That one's probably on there. Coach rival VVV and Texas on the road against Rice. I'm pretty sure that the last time Nick had Rice, he beat VVV, so I wouldn't rank that. I wouldn't say that that's impossible. Kentucky and Louisville, of course. And you have fans of both teams, so that's actually pretty cool. That's a conference matchup, South Carolina at Vandy early in the season, so don't even get to get your feet wet right out the gates. Jumping right in. I think that was the only conference matchup, too. Let me look over this again just to make sure. I think that was the only one. So pressure on those guys to get off to a good start right away. Hopefully you got some scrims in. And I think that pretty much sums up week 1. Let me look at week 2 and see if we have anything interesting on that one. In conference, Miami at BC. Pitt and Cincinnati. Pretty sure that one's on there. State rival, Iowa State and Iowa. I forget what the trophy's called. I want to say Cyhawk, but I'm probably wrong on that one. Well, that's just a rival in general, Notre Dame and Purdue. So I'll put that one up there. What else? For the most part, I think that's it for all the big ones. BYU and Tulsa. That should be a good matchup. Ice and Penguin. I'm pretty sure that they played in the Cup too. Or am I getting that mixed up with something else? I'm not sure. So that should be good. Pretty much that looks like that's it for. Oh, that's a conference game, of course. VT and Georgia Tech. Run happy against run happy. Good defenses there. And that is going to sum up conference play. And I think for the most part, that's going to sum up the rest of this. So, yeah, a few extra minutes here that I couldn't edit off this thing. This new program kind of sucks, not going to lie. Takes some getting used to. Probably have to ask around for some help on it, but it is what it is. So this is the season preview. Best of luck to everybody this season. Hopefully we don't have any issues and everything will run really smooth. Be interesting to see how things go along the season.